You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles because something is going on with the Philadelphia Eagles, and they got a lot of drama. Now, a lot of it stems from comments that FS1 host, WFAN host, I believe he's still with WFAM, Craig Carton, said about the Philadelphia Eagles in relation to Big Dom DiSandro. You may be like, Rhodes, you've made videos about that guy. Yes, that is the guy that was on the sidelines of the 49ers-Eagles game that got into an altercation with Dre Greenlaw, right? The head of security. Yeah. Head of security. However, I think there's an important piece that everybody might be missing in all this. All right? Now, this was an article way back in December when all of that went down. This is Dom DiSandro's official title, all right? The Eagles' chief security officer / senior advisor to the general manager. All right? I think that's a key piece of all of this. Senior advisor to the general manager. So, there's all of this stuff going on now. All right, about the fact that one of the reasons Big Dom is down there on the sidelines is that he is there in part to check Nick Sirianni's emotions. Yeah, that's real. That's something that's come out now, all right? So, Florio put out this article, and it brings in a Eagles reporter that makes Craig Carton's claims a little more juicy, okay? At the time when FS1 host Craig Carton has hinted, but not disclosed, a potentially salacious real reason for the implosion of the Eagles in 2023, longtime Eagles reporter Derek Gunn has offered something more concrete and far less juicy. According to Gunn, the banishment of Eagles security chief Dom DiSandro from the sidelines after he made contact with 49ers linebacker Dre Greenlaw during a December 3rd game against San Francisco threw Nick Sirianni off balance. It threw the coach off balance? Really? Gunn posted on X that, quote, Big Dom controls Sirianni's emotions on the sideline. All right? That he had been getting, here it is, in his absence, Nick gets in numerous arguments with players / coaches during games. Okay, so first of all, there's where your first major problem is. If you're having to have the head of security down next to the coach to keep his emotions under control, there's no doubt now, in my mind anyway, this is exactly where you get into a scenario of, oh, okay, so you're telling me Howie Roseman did reach out to Bill Belichick. That's the first thing I get out of that is, okay, so he did reach out to Bill Belichick. That's my gut feeling, all right? That's an opinion, but that tells you right there something is seriously off. Now, a little more came out of this, all right? Philadelphia Eagles sideline reporter and local sports radio host Howard Eskin addressed controversial comments made recently by FS1 and WFAN personality Craig Carton. Quote, so a few players have talked to quarterback Jalen Hurts about, hey, listen, you've got to connect more. You've got to be more emotional on the sidelines. You've got to be more part of us. Okay, so the quarterback's kind of aloof and standoffish. That's not great. And you just gave him a bunch of money, but it's not great. You're supposed to be the leader of the team. Eskin explained during a segment on 94 WHIP morning program as shared by Joey Chandler of New Jersey Advanced Media for NewJersey.com, quote, the one player that probably more, I think the word demonstrative is probably too much of implying what's going on was defensive tackle Fletcher Cox. Cox is a stern guy, and he was not happy with his emotion, but other players were the same way. Okay. Quote, so Fletcher is the guy, and this is why it makes sense, Eskin continued. From what I've been told, Craig Carton said there is going to be a prominent player that may not be with the team next year because of this. Well, Fletcher Cox has basically already said that he's done. So Craig is going to say, well, I told you a player wasn't coming back. It was not a fight. It was not a screaming match. It was not any of those things. He's just one of the players that has talked to him. So now, look, Adam Schefter came out and said, well, he talked to somebody with the Eagles, and the Eagles responded to Schefter by saying, quote, none of that shit happened. Well, the thing about it is, Craig Carton never actually said what happened. So why are the Eagles saying none of that shit happened when we don't know what that shit is? Number one, you're alluding to something, okay? Something was said, all right, or they thought was said, and Mike Florio jumps straight into this, all right? This week, Craig Carton of FS1 has claimed that he knows what happened without disclosing what he knows, and it prompted a little mini media scuffle between Carton and Adam Schefter of ESPN. Jeff Jacoby of Barrett Sports Media has the details in the clip of Carton's original explanation. Quote, it was a problem that would splinter any group of men. Carton said on the air, it is a real significant problem. It cannot be fixed. I'm not going to tell you more than that. I know what the problem is. I know they're trying to fix it. I don't know that it can be fixed. So it will be interesting to see if a high-profile player is no longer with the Eagles. Carton obviously knows or thinks he knows more than he said. His co-hosts clearly know what he knows or thinks he knows. Watching the clip, it seems likely, if not obvious, that they goaded him into talking about it and that they then tried to coax him to go the rest of the way with it. He didn't, for now. So enter in Adam Schefter appearing on 97.5. Quote, I texted someone in the organization yesterday, and the text I got back was none of that shit happened. Well, no shit, Adam. That's what Mike Florio said. No one with the team is going to say, quote, Carton is absolutely right. They're right. Look, Florio's right about that. Nobody is going to come out and admit that Craig Carton is right from the team. Why would they? Come on. They're trying to fix it. Part of fixing it is concealing it. So, no sending a text to whoever gives you a 5-minute heads up about a team's next official transaction is going to get anything other than a denial. So, Florio's point is, it doesn't matter if Adam Schefter talked to somebody and said none of that shit's going on, or none of that shit happened. What shit? Nobody alluded to anything specific, really and truly. So, the breaking news thing from Adam Schefter didn't really do much here. Regardless of whether Carton is right, Schefter's claim hardly proves Carton was wrong, as Carton himself told Eric Richter of the New York Post, quote, considering I never said what the situation was, what exactly are the Eagles denying? It's a great point. Carton said, I don't know what the Eagles are denying. Just because the team is denying something and saying it didn't happen, we should believe them, question mark? The fact that this has become such a big deal is comical. When Adam called Howie Roseman, what story did he ask him this was in relation to? I was very specific not to reveal what I know to be true. So again, what is the total shit? What is being denied? So this is getting interesting. All right? Now, my biggest takeaway from this is a couple of things. Obviously, something big is going down. All right? Amongst players, right? And then you've got the situation, and this would be the most concerning part of all of it, I think, if I was an Eagles fan. Which player is it? Question mark. That's a big one. And the other part would be and this is the one that really caught me off guard. My head coach can't control his emotions to the point that he's got to have a bouncer? Question mark. He's got to have somebody down there to check him, somebody to check the head coach, so because he flies off the handle so badly that players and coaches he's having trouble dealing with them, that's a major problem. That's a major problem. And to be honest with you, that tells me as long as the team's winning, everything is fine. But once they run into adversity, the coach cannot handle it. Okay? The coach cannot handle it. And what that means is you're probably needing to find a new head coach. I mean, I don't even know how else to say it. I think some of this happened with Brian Daboll and the Giants. He's been losing his temper. He got into it with Wink Martindale. I mean, a top 5 most respected defensive coordinator in all of football, college or pro. And he couldn't figure out a way to make that work out to keep him on staff. What I know now, very likely, Giants defense will not get any better. Okay? Will not get any better. You can't let guys like that walk out the door. You got to be able to check your emotions, and that means when the bullets start flying, we got a problem. And you saw that last year. So without the bouncer present, they dropped how many games all of a sudden? And then had a monumental ass whipping by hands of Baker Mayfield in the box. I got to tell you, like I said a second ago, this leads me to believe that the Eagles probably did talk to Belichick. And this is why we keep hearing Belichick's going to be back in coaching next year, because he's going to the Eagles or the Cowboys. And I would suspect. Now, he doesn't want to go to a team where he's worried about the media. He may not have a choice. And what's odd, Belichick may end up having to choose between the Cowboys, Eagles, and the Giants. And the Eagles and the Cowboys may get left out because he may want to go back home to the Giants where he was once a defensive coordinator. But this is crazy. There is obviously, you got multiple reporters. You got Carton that was told something. You've got Gunn that was told something. They're obviously all hearing something is wickedly amiss with the Eagles. Sounds to me like they probably should have fired Sirianni. And now they brought in Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio, and that leads me to believe that if they start out 3-5, Fangio or Kellen Moore is going to be your interim head coach next year. Wow. I mean, that's crazy. That was a lot of things for us to sift through. But, number one, it sounds like Adam Schefter is full of shit, all right? And because there's obviously something going on there. Of course, Howie Roseman or whoever Schefter's talking to is shooting it down. What are the Eagles going to do? Release the statement and say everything's a shit show behind the scenes? Of course they're not going to do that. They're going to deny. It sounds like a train wreck. It does. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. Obviously, this is something we're going to watch now. I waited around because I wanted to see if anything more would come out. And then when Schefter came out and denied it and some things just didn't feel right, I was like, you know what? This is a thing. This is a thing. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.